I'm curious. Whoa, can I see what the other ending was? That's totally what I want to do. Ah, I don't care to actually play that far.
I'll see you in the next one. Proper story is supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky. He gets up, sets off for the Bastion, where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble.
I'm curious what like new idols you get that make the game harder are.
Up under his feet as
but how far
away.
do I have to go before I do that?
Finds his lifelong friend just lying in the road. Well, it's a touching reunion. He sees what's left of the rippling walls.
Oh, I can't jump though.
Done in an instant. In the calamity, that a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a gas fella.
I can't jump. You said I would have everything, game. You lied to me. You lied to me the way Ron Perlman did the whole game. I knew Ron Perlman wouldn't tell the truth.
Quite a thirst by now, so that fountain looks real inviting. Sometimes you just need a drink.
Wow. No, I really want to see. I like after I beat a game, I like seeing what like bonuses you unlock and all that shit.
A school of squirts tunnels up around them. Must have fled here from the mines.
I think you immediately go into the Bastion, and it should be constructed. It isn't gonna take that long. Oh yeah, no, we gotta win at the saloon, and then we go to the. That's what it was. After I beat a game, I like to reflect on what happened and if it was fun.
Watering holes.
And
wait,
like,
haven't I?
What about the game I enjoyed?
Anyway, Rondé's place just brings back memories.
It's a good time, you know, kind of like after watching a movie and you're ruminating like, that scene was cool, I like this, you know. Wait, whoa, Flash Overlord, you just blew my mind. Yeah, and he never stated at what point the game will continue. That's the other thing. How far back would it set us? I feel we'd be at that option again. I just feel like I don't want to create a time loop, you know? That's what it felt like to me.
Finds his trusty shield.
But I want to see what Sears to offer, but
the security takes him for a petty thief.
I think this game was it was fun. It was enjoyable.
Start turning up for last call.
Yeah, it has so many things that keep it from being great. I'm really glad I spent the time to play it. I think like past the point that Zulf betrays us, the game really picks up. It has like it starts having trippy scenes. The things Ron Perlman says start making a bit more sense. And you also get access to idols, which makes the game. You can tailor the game to make it a little harder, which goes a long way to making the combat more engrossing.
It's a bit of a drop.
Up until that point, like the game really bored me. It bored me, and that's because like it's a game driven by the narrative, right? Because the gameplay ain't carrying it, and if you don't really care too much about Ron Perlman, just like and his overbearing presence telling you story after story point, then you're kind of, what are you playing for at that point? If the game doesn't fucking grip you and grab you with the story at the beginning, then you're kind of left just playing a game you're not interested in. Since the story is first and foremost and at the forefront of everything. And really, what is the story of this game? Humans fucked up, they created a nuclear bomb, it exploded in their back porch,
he lands on top of
and they killed themselves.
And it ain't broke.
I think the Ura in their civilization was very simplified in how they were represented.
He knows he should draw the string.
I don't even get what the end game message is, really. We massacred the shit out of the Ura. Like, whoa, we kept that war going way beyond humanity stopped fighting.
Picks up a few pointers from a dusty old tome.
I want to reach the main area here. Or I have to kill these guys to do so. I think the game failed a lot in its like storytelling because it relied so hard on Perlman. I mean, I don't care who you hire to tell the story. I mean, Perlman's as good as any. I mean, it's a really great choice. The man's a very accomplished voice actor. But why would you want to tell your stories in such a static fashion? Like, right there in the bar we were just at, where we saw our first calamity victim, Randy, the bartender, or whatever he was, the chef. That's the first taste we get of like suffering in this game, and we're told about Randy. We're told Randy was a cool guy, and that he suffered, and he's dead now.
Wasn't long before the kid could loose an arrow, strong and true. He finds the distillery.
And that we knew Randy. I think he implied we knew Randy at some point. He sold his stuff or something. But that kind of sums up the way the tragedy, the whole calamity thing is like supposed to get you sad. Like, look at all the suffering. All these people are dead. Why are they all dead? But again, it's presented to me in such a like I am as disconnected from the story as this little main character who says not a word is. You know, I'm gonna use a prime example right here. Within this game, if they actually showed Randy, like, I think maybe the game would have improved so much if we actually saw the people before the calamity struck. If I talked to Randy, and he bought me a drink, and then, just not even, like, 10 minutes later, even 10 minutes later, I could go and the calamity happens, and then he's dead. I would have vested interest in the tragedy that hit this world. Well, then again, like, part of the plot is you wake up and the tragedies happen, but that's terrible. Think of any popular, like, movie. Like fucking Luke, we see Luke in his village with his peoples, and then he goes and meets, who does he meet? Obi-Wan, and then he comes back and his village is destroyed. Then begins the story of a hero. I think it's very important to have those moments, you know, where the hero, we see what we care about his land, then see the tragedy, and then it hits us. But here, it's just, bam, tragedy. And Ron Perlman is drilling in my head that it better hit you. It better hit you. You better feel sad. Look at all these fucking corpses. Randy, he was the best bartender in town. I don't give a fuck. That's kind of what made the endgame decision so easy. I felt so disconnected from it. And I think that's like a big failing in the plot. And so, yeah. I don't know. I never felt as vested. The end started getting me into the game because it actually introduced, like, it actually did what I said. It introduced a villain who we met and grew to like, and then he betrayed us. And then he turned out to be sort of not that bad. It never really, like, fully explained what Zul was trying to do. Never explained what the Uro were trying to do.
One sip of the spirits in that.
Did it have to? They were just kind of the faction that won the war.
The arsenal's where the kid can pick the best tools.
I want to see what cool idols we can get, though. I think we're almost done here.
Some of them squirts birthing like crazy in a couple of corn bins.
And because of that, since obviously the gameplay we've already established, it's fun in the sense that it gives my finger something to do, and the dodging actually feels kind of good. But the actual combat is like, it's a bit like grindy. That's the best way to put it. It's grindy and mind-numbing. It's an action RPG, right? And it has all the failings of an RPG battle system that isn't engaging. It's a bit more active, though. You know, but it's okay. It's okay. It's just not engaging in itself, in and of itself. So, yeah. We go around collecting stuff. Unearthing elements of the story? I just don't feel like there was a big, like, secret to the game or anything. It's gonna take us a while to get back to the fucking village. Yeah, it was a good game. It made me feel something by endgame, because I really felt like, oh, well, now I get to decide the fate of the future. or I get to rewrite the past. But does that moment in itself save the game?
Kid takes a chunk of alloy. Smell of barley and spoiled blueberries fills the air.
Really, there's no characters you give a shit about in this game. That's criminal. In a story-driven game, there's no character you really care about. The kid is... He's your average silent protagonist. He represents me, the human, you know? I am the kid, which is cool. That's a good way of doing a protagonist, you know? He's silent. That's fine. He's whatever I want him to be in my head. Ron Perlman is insufferable. It also like tarnishes the image that he knew about this war, and he didn't tell us about it, and he was a big like factor in the mass destruction of all the peoples. That sits ill with me. I feel like he's kind of a villain in a way. Maybe that's the point of the game. Not everything's so black and white. Ron is the villain in a way. We're all the villains because we brought this upon ourselves. If that's the case and there's gray area, why are the Ura presented so fucking cheesy? Oh, they're like these tribal peoples that we kill because they don't want the Bastion to work. Well, fuck no, they don't want it to work. That shit is the representation of mankind, and we've been at war with mankind, and we've learned through Zulf that they fucking tried to nuclear bomb our ass. Except all the atom, their experiments blew up in their face. Joke's on you guys.
See something stranger still.
They never really explored that the Ura are their own faction with their own wants and whims and desires. No, they kind of just made them this evil peoples. There we go. We're back here. Now I can see what's up with this.
And just like that, the Bastion comes.
That sits ill with me. Because our main narrator is
stronger.
Somewhat evil.
Its power to good use.
Then you have Zaya,
Bastion can send him
who was cute only in that she's a musician and sang a song. I really wish she'd said more at the end there. I really wish she gave us like more like of her opinion about this world. It was summed up very shortly. I don't like my past, and I'd rather live in the future. Oh, okay, Zaya, that's cool. What we learned of all the characters was totally given through us through those Dream Fight Challenge segments where Braun just told us about the characters. Just telling us about their backstories. Alright, isn't my world fully built? Yeah, I want to see what my difficulty things are.
The Pantheon.
Which ones were new? Foes shall never yield health tonics or black tonics. Doesn't even give me anything. No XP bonus for this hard shit. Oh, none of them do. Okay. Foes shall sometimes turn into air. Unable to be hit. Those are brutal. Those are the ones I got. Those are the new ones I got. Yeah, those are the new ones. Yeah. I don't know. I just have conflicted feelings about this game. I think it has like wonderful elements that are overshadowed by like an overbearing plot, lame characters, and like a unengaging combat system. But I mean, it has the art style is incredible. The aesthetics are pleasing. The little cutscenes are cute as fuck. The combat's passable if it were refined. I don't know. All in all, I'm excited to try out Transistor in the future because I feel like there's a lot of elements of a good game here. I just think they kind of fall short of the mark. And I still disagree with why can't a game just be why can't it just be fluffy and nice and cute as it looks right here? Why do we have to talk about a nuclear war and the destruction of mankind and an evil tribal peoples called the Ura? If you're gonna go that deep but not really flesh it out, then you're just kind of doing a disservice to yourself. You know, you really can't discuss all these issues lightly and in passing. You know, that just it's not enough. Such issues should be tackled. You know, if you're gonna do that, give the game like 5 more hours and really develop these ideas. Actually show the shades of gray. They kind of did that with Zulf. He was kind of a good guy and a pacifist, but he was driven to be bad. We're supposed to interpret that, though. Perlman, for all he says, never really explains Zulf's struggle. And the Ura turned on him because, I still can't put my finger on that. Why did the Ura, betray Zulf? Kind of just makes them bad peoples. Because they're bad guys, but then they actually show some respect. Okay. I don't know. Conflicted feelings is just how I feel about this game. It's cute, and it hit certain heartstrings. It did some things right. It made me feel cute. It made me feel at the end. It made me care about the decision for the world. But more from moral opinion, like from a moralist standpoint of what I believe is right versus what do I care to do for this world? Because I don't care about the world. I cared about Teddy, because he would dance with me. That's about it. I'm gonna go look up the, I'm gonna look up what the alternate ending is and show it here. What do you guys think about this game? I mean, I just want to spiel. It's hard. Part of me likes it, part of me dislikes it. It's some weird... Yeah, that's the best way to say it. Overall, I recommend it. It was short, it was entertaining. It wasn't fun up until like halfway through. Then it kind of became funner. But, yeah, what do you guys think when you played this? I want to hear some opinions. Oh, you never played Bastion? I actually hit the wrong sound key, but that works. Ending Bastion. Reverse time ending. But again, because this game tackled all these issues of war so superficially, the end game didn't hit me as deep as like. I mean, it really is not gonna sit in my mind as one of the most epic games I've played because it did it. If it was like a bunker buster bomb, if this plot was like a bunker buster missile, it didn't go deep enough into the ground to destroy the whole bunker. It exploded superficially. It kind of like exploded on the surface of the ground. So everyone that you're supposed to kill inside the bunker is still kind of alive. That's how I sum up this game. Man, Ron Perlman's voice must be so sore after all that dialogue. And also, like, oh yeah, you know, wait, that's all. My concerns have been mostly about the plot, but the gameplay, you know, if you stop to think about it, this is a game that could do with a lot of puzzles. I think it would do really swell with a lot of puzzles. Like, yeah, it would be a great game for puzzling, you know? That's kind of, it would fit it very well. That's a great way to break up the monotony of the combat system being kind of mundane, but there were no puzzles. And I mean, if you added the jump, plus the jump feature is something you really could have built the game around. Why would you throw that in as an afterthought at the end of the game? That's stupid. And as far as level design goes, the game might fool you into thinking these levels are great because they all look fantastic and it's such a cool thing to see the level like pop up under your feet wherever you're walking. That seems pretty cool, but all the levels are the same fucking thing. They're all the same. They only have a set certain paths. In fact, the game really, the first few levels, they added like different routes you could take and different things happen. But so you explore all different areas. They kind of did away with that by the end and made it really, really, really linear. There's no puzzle elements. You just kind of walk and see things happen and fight things along the way and just keep on walking. That's probably one of the things that made it feel so like repetitive to me and made the combat so boring. Like, you're not really exploring the levels. Yeah, they're coming up under your feet and but it's not the same as exploration, not at all. I felt level design was pretty shitty in this game. That's probably one of the worst aspects of this game, level design. They looked pretty, but They were just set paths that you went around. That's also why you couldn't revisit a level. You can't revisit a level because it was meant to be like a cinematic experience that Ron Perlman walked you through your ears. Because if you could redo the level and Ron Perlman isn't there to talk to you, then there's really not that much to do if you know the set path. Adam, the level design was pretty shitty in this game, now that I think about it. It was pretty fucking bad. Pretty fucking crap. It's easy to not notice that, though, because, like, oh, well, you know, I enjoyed going through the levels. They look so cute. Oh. Yeah, but let's see the ending. Man, but I go through Steam and I'm saying, like, every single person is like, best game ever. Hit me right in the feels. Okay, let's see the restoration ending, guys. Y'all ready for this? Restoration ending Bastion. I like just thinking about games after you're done playing them, you know? Like, what was good, what was bad?
What's to stop it from happening again after the Bastion does its thing? Bunny.
You can either prevent the calamity or stick around with.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go watch what this guy did. Let's go see what we would have optioned. I still stand by my ending. That's the ending I want for my game. But let's see what could have happened if we chose a different ending and believed in fairies and puppy dogs and cute fucking bullshit that we could just go back in time and change certain things, and you can't change the way people feel about other people. That is something time won't allow you to change. Over time, you could change that, I guess, but just going back and flipping this switch versus that switch, it won't fix things. But, well, let's see what would have happened. I'm definitely curious. Okay, what do we got here? Hold up. Pretend I'm playing. Okay, so we chose the restoration.
It's finished. Now, sit tight. It'll be over soon. No matter what happens next, you're done good.
You done good, kid. You done real good.
I suppose all that's left is to try and remember this moment.
Do we remember what happened? That's the other thing.
The Bastion's gonna take us back to a better time. Before any of this. Maybe we'll forget everything you've done. And each other.
Then you really didn't do anything. That's why I didn't pick
Though after all we've been through, I find that hard to believe. So long, kid. Maybe I'll see you in the next one.
Z is the cutest little character design.
Zealandia, we're coming home.
What? They got like an ending thing? Or maybe that was the end theme, I don't remember it. Is that song different from the one we heard? I'll check it out on the OST. Okay, so Zolf ends up marrying his human sweetheart. Crossing of the race is disgusting. interracial marriage, inter-era marriage. We will not stand for this. I think I like this. I like that they're showing these images because it's showing that for your decision, it's not as easy. I like that they put a little depth to this weird fantasy decision of bullshit. They're saying that, yeah, Zulf had a happier ending, but ultimately, just because you set back the hand of time, not everyone ends up better. And in this instance, Zia stays alone and sad and miserable. She found purpose thanks to the calamity. That's what she was saying. She kind of said that. It was like, she said like 3 sentences. But we can interpret it. No, this was the same song. I don't think so. I go and I'm a worker. So I live a full life. Teddy lives! Teddy! My number one reason for picking this ending would have been to make Teddy live again. Only motherfucker I cared about. My cute little sprite thing. What were they called? Squirts. My little squirt. Okay. Well, that was the alternate. I don't know. That seemed like a very empty ending. That seemed hella empty. I would have regretted picking that ending. I don't like thinking about games depressing because they would have needed a good editor to make sense of their writing. I don't know. The story was okay. I just feel like the themes were too heady for what this cute game was trying to accomplish. Because it totally failed to develop the Ura side of the conflict. I think it had trouble establishing villains altogether. We had to kill the Ura to take the shard because they wouldn't allow us to create a Bastion to help mankind. Yo, my main character was a brutal motherfucker. I was killing animals and people. With kind of flimsy justification up until the end. I think it's easy to say, oh, well, you know, they'll come back if you actually use a Bastion for the first purpose. So all that murder you did doesn't matter. It's all ends justify the means. That hogwash. Yeah, I killed a lot of motherfuckers. That just stands in contrast to what the game was establishing. Like, in order to learn from the pains of people wanting to kill each other, we must kill to fix it. That was the thinking that led them to kill each other and kill themselves. Like, that's what I don't get. That's what I don't get. Obviously, you know, happy-go-lucky peace is the answer. It really was here, though. But that wasn't really an option. I think maybe they implied there was peace when the Ura people didn't kill me for carrying Zalt. I think that was it, but I don't feel like the characters learned that, though. I don't know. I just feel like there's like maybe like loose ends or inconsistencies with the game's own like moral messages and shit. It's weird. It's weird. Again, the problem being it's way too simple. It's way too simple. There's no gray area. But anyway. Yeah, overall, you know what? If I look the way I look at games is, did I enjoy the hours I spent playing this? Do I feel more fulfilled by having experienced this? And you know what? In a lot of ways, this game was a work of art, mainly through its art, not through its story. But that's what I say. Overall, it was great. Indie Game of the Year 2011 for the indie. I mean, this game stands out as like the poster child for indie games. Like, they should hope to be this good. I think that's that. I don't think it's that high a pedigree. This it feels like a kind of a muddy dog to be to be winning the Golden Kennel Club award. But yeah, it's fun. It was great. It was worth it. And yeah, I'd recommend it to people. But I don't think it was that great. So anyway, that's the end of Bastion. Glad to have experienced it. The fuck do I play now? I love how this 7-hour game took me 14 hours to play. That's just how I roll, guys. That's just how I roll. Did the gameplay blow? No. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy, man. Don't be that dude. The gameplay was fun. It was fun-ish. You know? It wasn't bad. The variety of weapons helped. It was fun as fuck. I mean, I was so excited. I got the mortar, I got the musket. Some of the weapons sucked, but they gave you a variety of weapons, which is good. The combat, the evasion was fun. And I think they inherently knew that it was kind of grindy and repetitive. That's the real mark against it. So they allowed you all these cool little modifiers to make it harder, which, when I turned them on, and you know, it was like self-modding. I myself went in there and said, okay, I wish the enemies did this more, and hurt me more. And you know, it became a little funner. It could be hella refined, you know? And I felt that once you turn on those modifiers, melee monsters become really, really, really hard. And in fact, by the end game, I was killing them just by using the shield. But it engaged me. It wasn't. There's bad combat, dude. This was not bad combat. Imagine the same gameplay in another setting or with a different art style. With the super linear levels. That really is what it is. I think the levels were the worst part of it all. Like, this is not a game I'd replay, right? Straight off the bat. The levels are so linear. I don't know, it's just, it feels like infusing a game with, if the game's biggest element is story, I'm always first and foremost that gameplay should drive a video game. And story should factor into that. Tell the story through the gameplay, through actions in game, like, because it's a video game. It's not a book. It's not a movie. It's a video game. It's its own medium, which is best told through the fingers. The story should be experienced through my motherfucking hands. That's how I think games should work. And in that regard, I think this game wasn't made to be a very good game, gameplay-wise, and so they kind of made up for that by giving you an audio story. That's really what Ron Perlman was. That's what it was. It was an audiobook. It was like half an audiobook. That's the thing, though. It was more like 60% audiobook, 10%, like 20% aesthetics, 20% gameplay. That's how I felt like a breakdown of it. And they're masters. They got away with it. This is like the indie game. This sold so well, but here's the thing. What if you didn't dig the audio story? Well, then you got a shitty video game. I could kind of get behind the audio story. I could kind of get behind the audiobook, but I just didn't like the story it told. It was so like, I don't know, it was too simplistic. Certain themes weren't developed as well as they should have been. If we're going to go the audiobook route. I felt like a lot of shit Ron Perlman was saying was so useless. Yeah, motherfucker, I know I have to go that way. That's the rest of the level. Yeah, I know I've been here a while. I'm looking around the level. Damn it, Perlman, I'm gonna grab the fucking weapon. It's right in front of me. I want to use it. Fucking Perlman, man. If they cut out some of that bullshit, it would have been better. Yeah, a game built around the narrative idea. I don't know. That's really what... I wish I could take this game in a vacuum. Like, stand alone. Like, you know, did you enjoy it? Yeah, it's okay. It was okay. But it's the bigger picture of where this game stands and how it's influenced indie games and, like, where it stands in the bigger picture of, like, Steam titles and all this shit and, like, the mad critical acclaim it's gotten and all this shit. Because of that, I feel like this game is in a way like a blueprint for how indie games should go. And I don't know. Again, the focus is not on good gameplay. That was not the focus of this game, and if you think about it, linear levels, repetitive gameplay, kinda the fighting itself wasn't that great. So what do you have? You had a cool story, and I think that's a pitfall. Now indie games are like, oh well, we can't make a good or compelling game to play. Let's just give them a fucking trippy story, and that's why I think so many indie games have like, I'm so fucking deep. I'm so deep, and all these fucking symbolisms and themes, man. You gotta get it. You gotta read the facts and look at all this info and dissect it and let it and toss it around in your mind, let it marinate. That's what indie games are nowadays. I think that's why so many are dark, needlessly dark. You know what game told its story so well? You know what, I'm gonna pick an indie game that actually does it really well. Cave Story. Cave Story is a fucking fantastic game to play, and its story isn't that huge, and it has so many different endings. Not just like pick A or B as your option to end the game. No, you got to do certain things to get all the different endings, and in fact, the super ending is like a whole new set of levels that are really, really hardcore. Again, the focus being on playing the game and playing through these awesome levels. That's the thing. That's a good, really, really, really great indie game right there. That focuses on gameplay. Shit like Bastion is like, I don't know, man. I'll go read a book if I really want a narrative story. Or if I want a visual story. If I want a deep story, I'll read a book. If I want a visual story, I'll watch a movie. But what is this weird like I don't know. It's just, don't know, man. What bothers me about this game is the heaps and heaps of praise I see for it. It does things right. Yeah, we shouldn't ignore that it does things right, but it does so many things wrong. And it's all overlooked because it was a grand experience. The ending sits in my mind as awesome. Well, what the fuck about all the things that led up to that ending, man? What about all those things? Those things are very important. The ending got me in the feels a little, but it isn't enough to blind me to everything else. That's kind of how I felt about the film, like Seventh Seal by Igram, some fucking like Norwegian guy. It had an amazing ending, a beautiful message at the end that made me like really think about the movie, but it could not reshape the boredom I had actually watching that shit. Up until that point. That's how I feel about Bastion. It's a game, not a pot roast. I like talking about games, you know, man? I thought of doing like reviews on my channel or something, you know? Just like, fucks with no score at the end, cause fuck that. Like, what does that even mean? My fucking rubric. My rubric is, was it fun? And I think my problem, if I did reviews for games, I would give overwhelming positives to all of them. I'd say, you know what? Despite all its faults, it was kind of fun. Play it. That's how it would end with, like, a game has to really, really offend me. If I don't find a game fun, I don't play it. If like halfway through it's really bad, I ain't finishing this shit. It ain't worth my time. It's not fun. And that should be the most important thing. It can be fun in many ways, you know? It could tell such a gripping story that I have to finish it. Or damn, I just love punching shit in this game. Whatever it is. If it ain't fun, it ain't fun. That's partially why I've not finished Dark Souls 2. I feel like I do that for YouTubers nowadays if I play that game. It doesn't compel me to play it. Cutesy art in a dark world, so original. I really would celebrate a game that was just be cute. Cave World, you know what was great about Cave World 2? That's why I brought it up. Cave World was cute. It was happy-go-lucky the whole way through. Oh, well, there was a bit of tragedy. There was a bit of tragedy in that game, but it was kind of happy all the way through, and it embraced it, you know? It's happy. What's wrong with being happy? What's wrong? I mean, yeah, I love my sad, morose things, you know? I totally love them. I watch the saddest movies, I read the saddest works. I love sad plays, you know? They stick in my mind, but you could make happy things too and enjoy that too. There's no stigma to that, you know? It's not deep enough. Okay. Take something like Star Fox, right? Like Star Fox 64. That's about as just like, what if you made Star Fox deeper, you know? What if you made this more serious? Or like, well, you know what? It was a great example of making a game dark. Doesn't need to be dark. Halo. Anyone ever play Halo 4? You know, all the earlier Halos were fucking zany and tongue-in-cheek and like kind of hilarious. Fucking grunts saying the dumbest shit, and this is why I have this sound effect. Oh, it's not up. But the grunt birthday party sound effect, I mean, that's what it came from. And then you get like Halo 4, and everything gets edgier and darker, and like, why? Why? I don't know, that's kind of a loose analogy there, but it's just like, why? Eman hated it? The narrator interacting with gameplay action? Oh, that's what was original? Is that really what the big thing about this game was? Nah, man, fucking Max Payne did that shit. What do you mean? A narrator breaking the fourth wall, or at least narrating what you did? Is that what you're talking about was the real allure of this game? No, man, Max Payne did that a while ago. I mean, you could even go far back to say, like, point-and-click adventures kind of did the same thing. But you can do that wrong, though. You can narrate too much. Fuck. Even the Max Payne series itself has gone off the deep end and done it wrong, but... Man, he would narrate it. I mean, there was certain charm. Like, I think if they used it a bit more sparingly... I know they paid Ron Perlman lots of money, but if they used him a little more sparingly, there were times when, like, I destroyed a barrel or something. That didn't happen in this game, but I'm trying to pick an example. I destroyed a barrel, and it killed, like, 5 enemies, and then he would say, the kid was on fire, or something like that. And I was like, oh, you know, that's cool. He noted something that was noteworthy and worth noting. Not fucking, the kid broke his 50th wall. God damn you, Perlman. You told me about the 49th wall and the 48th wall. You told me about the freaking... Perlman. Well, I guess that's what this game was really noteworthy about. Making an omniscient narrator. Omniscient narrator while you're playing. Well, you know, it did it... I still argue it didn't do it right. It didn't do it well. The omniscient narrator stood between me and appreciating the story. He did. He did. He told me the story. He is how I got the story. But was that the best way to present the story? Like, really? What was so wrong with meeting characters in the game and, like, seeing speech bubbles? And having them tell me the story that way? What was wrong with that? I mean, that's how other games have done it. Like, it feels like style over substance. I don't know what did Ron Perlman really add? I don't know, he annoyed me half the time, to be honest with you. He made it, I guess what he really did was make it really easily digestible. Which makes it a more sellable game. I mean, that's an important thing to consider. No, I ain't saying, like, they casualified it. Oh, they made it casual for anyone. That's a good fucking thing. You realize games are made for money, right? You gotta consider that sometimes, you know? If I'm making a game and I want to reach a big demographic of people, what are certain tools I can implement to get people to play my game? It's not just money, too. Yeah, money's a byproduct of people playing the game. That is people playing what you've made. So, more people playing means more of your art assets are out there. More of your story is reaching people. And, you know, that's important, too, versus just getting money for it. And it's a consideration. That's really what it does, though. That's what it does. It makes it more easily accessible, because it's all... You don't... I hate that, though. I didn't have to think about anything. Ron Perlman explained everything. He even explained actions of other fucking characters! That bothered the shit out of me! Motherfucker, you don't know me! You don't know my fucking kids' motivations. You don't know what Zaya's up to. You couldn't even tell me when I wanted you to what Zolf was doing. I so wanted to talk to Zolf at the end of the game. Why couldn't I talk to Zolf? Did it do it well? I guess it did it enough that apparently it did it well. It sold well. A lot of people love it. A lot of people fucking, like, they say this game's incredible. And it, like, sits in their memories as incredible, and I'm sure Ron Perlman is, like, 80% of it. Has to be. It has to be. But, I don't know, man. I didn't like what he did. It was overbearing. Like, you can't drill plot points, man. Well, I really think the game would have been so much cooler if I met characters and they talked to me, and, you know. Like a regular RPG, instead of, like, story. That's what it was. The motherfucker was reading a storybook to me. Except I was the character walking around the book. That's what's so trippy! Only video games allow you to do that! Like, whoa, check that out, breaking the fourth wall. I don't know, Max Payne did it. Max Payne 1 and 2 are examples of how to do that right. How to do that fucking perfect. You know what they did? One small difference that would go a long ways to making the omniscient narrator better? If I'm gonna have an omniscient narrator, why the fuck not make it my character? Why not? He's experiencing everything, right? It's just, it was strange that the duty was put on to some other dude over here who was just kind of watching me. He even admitted that he was watching me sleep. Like, what the fuck? Weird, bro. Little weird, Perlman. Yeah, but if you're gonna do that, make the main character. Make the main character tell the story. Because that way, you get, like, what he's feeling, you know, as he's going through it. You get that. Because Ron Perlman could just tell me what was happening. My character could tell me what I'm feeling. That's what Max Payne did different, the first two, and how they did it right. Oh, by the way, you know, Flash Overlord brought up a good point here. That, I don't know, I watched it and I liked it. That's the thing, though. That is the exact point. I think Bastion, if I would rather watch Bastion be played than actually play it. And I just beat the fucking game. That's my point, though. It makes a great watchable video game. But it doesn't make a good video game to play. That's what I was thinking. Like, fuck, man. Like, it's so cute and watchable, and but I think you should make a video game to be played. That's exactly, that's like, that sums up my beef with the game. It's wonderful game to watch be played. Not even. I don't think the combat was very. I don't think watching me do the challenges was very engaging. You just watching me. I'm just playing it to hear the story. Like I don't even think the action segments were that entertaining. That's my point right there, dude. That right there sums up the problem. Wait, the narrator wasn't Ron Perlman? What? I thought that was Ron Perlman. Anyway, I spoke at length about this game, but I don't know. When I beat a game, I like to talk about it, the opinions. No one here, only Ed Hell dudes beat this game, right? He already gave his opinion. He didn't like it. But you know, despite all my negativity about it, there's elements of good game here, and that's why I'm not turned off to the idea of playing Transistor. I think that, you know, you can only improve upon things you make, you know? So I'm sure their Transistor's even better. But anyway. Yeah. Ugh, now I'm tired. Usually, I don't get tired when I play games because I feel so focused on doing completing the game, and it feels good. But now I'm tired. Now my euphoria is gone, or I didn't have euphoria playing this, but my drive to see it through is no longer. It feels like some supernatural force that keeps me going. Part of the reason I stream, but it's not there anymore since my game's beat. I do need a game to beat the next day. I may not. I'm probably not gonna stream tomorrow. Maybe Saturdays are my day off, mainly so I could cut up the VODs and make them for YouTube. That allows me time to do that. And well, just to take a breather, take a little break, make my fingers rest. But I do need an idea for a game to play next time. I am kind of at a loss here. I also need a Bastion